What if I told you that a single piece of paper could decide who gets everything you own after you are gone? Most people think estate planning is only for the ultra-wealthy. But here is the shocking truth. Estate planning matters even if you own just a car, a bank account, or a small home. And the cost of getting it wrong could be far higher than the cost of doing it right. So, how much does estate planning really cost? Stick with me until the end because I am going to break down the numbers, the hidden fees, and even how to save thousands of dollars while still protecting your family. Number 1. The basics of estate planning. Estate planning simply means deciding who gets your stuff, who makes decisions if you cannot, and how taxes or fees are handled. At its core, this usually includes a will, a power of attorney, a healthcare directive, and sometimes a trust. Think of it like building a financial safety net. Without it, courts will decide for you, and that usually costs way more than setting it up in the first place. For example, if you pass away with no plan, your family could spend thousands in court fees and months of stress just to get access to your accounts. Number 2. The cost of a simple will. A basic will is often the starting point. If you go the DIY route using online services, it might cost anywhere from $50 to $200. Hiring an attorney for a professionally drafted will can cost between $300 and $1,000 depending on complexity. But here is the catch. A simple will may not protect you from probate. Probate is the court process where your will is reviewed, and it can eat up thousands of dollars in fees. Imagine leaving your kids a house worth $200,000. Probate could cost them $5,000 to $10,000 in court and attorney fees. That is a lot of money lost just because the plan was not strong enough. Number 3. The hidden costs of probate. Probate is like the silent thief of inheritance. Court filing fees, attorney fees, appraisal fees, and executor fees all pile up. In some states, probate costs can easily hit 3% to 7% of your total estate. That means if your estate is worth $300,000, probate could cost up to $21,000. That is money your loved ones will never see. This is why many people use trusts to avoid probate altogether. Number 4. The cost of a trust. Trusts sound intimidating, but think of them as a box where you place your assets to be handled according to your rules. Setting up a revocable living trust with an attorney can cost between $1,000 and $3,000. Yes, it is more expensive upfront than a simple will, but it can save your family tens of thousands later by avoiding probate. For example, if you own a house, some savings, and maybe a rental property, a trust could mean your heirs get everything quickly, without paying thousands in legal fees or waiting years for court approval. Number 5. Power of attorney and healthcare directives. Estate planning is not just about death. It also protects you if you are alive but unable to make decisions. A financial power of attorney gives someone you trust the authority to handle your money if you are incapacitated. A healthcare directive makes sure doctors follow your wishes in medical emergencies. Each of these documents typically costs between $100 and $500 if created by an attorney, unless if you use online templates. The real cost is not having them. Without these documents, your family may have to go through an expensive guardianship process, which can cost thousands and drag on for months. Number 6. Attorney fees versus DIY options. This is where most people get stuck. Do you pay a lawyer or go cheap with an online template? Here is the truth. If your finances are simple, like a car, a bank account, and no kids, an online will could be fine. But if you own a house, have kids from different marriages, or own a small business, skipping a lawyer is like playing financial roulette. Yes, lawyers cost more upfront, maybe $1,000 to $3,000. But fixing mistakes later can cost 10 times more. Number 7. Ongoing costs you should expect. Estate planning is not a one-and-done deal. Life changes. You might buy a new house, get married, divorced, or have kids. Each of those changes means updating your plan. Most attorneys charge between $100 and $500 for updates. Some offer packages that cover revisions for a few years. Ignoring updates can undo all your planning. For example, if you get divorced and never update your will, your ex could legally end up with your assets. Number 8. The cost of doing nothing. Here is the scariest part. Not having a plan is often the most expensive choice. If you die without a will, the state decides who gets what. This is called intestacy. Your family could face court battles, attorney fees, and taxes that drain your estate. For example, in some states, intestacy rules split assets between a spouse and children in ways you might never want. That can create tension, lawsuits, and thousands of dollars in legal costs. Doing nothing might feel free today, but it could cost your family tens of thousands tomorrow. Number 9. How taxes play a role. Most beginners do not realize taxes can also eat into inheritance. While federal estate tax only applies to estates over $13 million in 2025, state estate or inheritance taxes can apply at much lower amounts. Some states start taxing estates worth just $1 million. That is why good planning matters. A trust or gifting strategy could save your family thousands in taxes. Number 10. How to save money on estate planning. The good news is, there are ways to cut costs without cutting corners. You can start with free or low-cost tools to organize your information before meeting an attorney. This reduces the lawyer's time and lowers your bill. You can shop around and ask attorneys for flat fees instead of hourly rates. You can also use hybrid approaches. For example, draft documents online, then pay a lawyer for a review. That way, you get professional advice without the full price tag. One family I know saved nearly $1,500 by preparing their documents online, then paying a lawyer a few $100s to review and finalize them. Number 11. Real-life example of costs. Let me give you 2 quick stories. A woman named Sarah used an online will service for $150. She passed away owning a home worth $250,000. Because the will went through probate, her heirs spent nearly $15,000 in fees and waited over a year to get the house transferred. Now compare that with James, who paid $2,500 to create a trust. When he passed, his children got access to his assets within weeks. No court, no massive fees. The trust saved his family time, stress, and thousands of dollars. Number 12. Estate planning as an investment. Instead of asking, how much does it cost? Think of estate planning as, how much can it save? Yes, you might spend $1,000 to $3,000 up front, but that could save your loved ones $20,000 or more in court and legal fees later. The peace of mind, the reduced family stress, and the faster transfer of assets are all priceless. Number 13. Special needs planning. If you have a child or family member with special needs, standard estate planning is not enough. You may need a special needs trust. This ensures they keep access to government benefits like Medicaid or SSI while still receiving financial support from you. The cost for setting up a special needs trust can range from $2,000 to $5,000 depending on complexity. Without it, your loved one could lose crucial benefits and face financial hardship. Number 14. Business owners pay more. If you own a business, estate planning costs are higher because your plan must cover business succession. That means deciding who runs the business, how ownership transfers, and how to reduce estate taxes on business assets. Plans for business owners often cost between $5,000 and $10,000. But without one, the business could collapse, employees could lose jobs, and your family might get stuck with unexpected debts. Number 15. Digital assets are often forgotten. Think about your online bank accounts, crypto wallets, social media, or even digital photos. If no one knows how to access them, they could be lost forever. Adding digital asset instructions to your estate plan usually costs an extra $100 to $300 with an attorney. For example, families have lost thousands in Bitcoin because the deceased never left behind wallet keys. Number 16. Life insurance in estate planning. Life insurance can play a big role in covering estate taxes or leaving behind money for heirs. But without proper planning, life insurance payouts could be taxed or delayed. Including life insurance in your estate plan may require creating an irrevocable life insurance trust, which can cost $1,000 to $3,000. This ensures the payout goes directly to your beneficiaries, tax-free and without probate. Number 17. Guardianship for minor children. Parents often overlook one of the most important and emotional parts of estate planning. Who will raise your children if something happens to you? Naming guardians in your will typically does not cost extra, but failing to do so leaves the decision to the court. The emotional and financial consequences of not naming a guardian can be devastating for your children. Number 18. The role of executors and trustees. Your executor or trustee will handle your estate after you are gone. They may charge fees ranging from 1% to 5% of the estate's value, depending on state law. For a $400,000 estate, that could mean $4,000 to $20,000 in fees. Choosing the right person and clarifying their compensation in your plan helps prevent surprises. Number 19. State-specific costs. Estate planning costs vary depending on where you live. For example, legal fees in New York or California are often double what you would pay in smaller states. Probate costs also vary widely, with some states having streamlined processes and others requiring expensive and lengthy court oversight. Checking your state's specific rules can help you plan more accurately. Number 20. The value of estate planning packages. Many attorneys offer bundled packages covering wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and healthcare directives. These packages often cost between $2,000 and $5,000. While it seems like a lot up front, buying documents together usually saves hundreds compared to purchasing each one separately. It also ensures all documents work together without conflicts. Estate planning costs vary, but one thing is clear. The cost of doing nothing is always higher. So, how much does estate planning really cost? Anywhere from a few $100s for a simple DIY plan to a few thousand for a comprehensive trust. But the real value is in how much money, stress, and conflict you save your family in the future. Now I want to hear from you. If you had to choose, would you rather spend more upfront for peace of mind or risk higher costs later for your family?